Good morning, everyone. My name is Adam Livingston, and I am the Bitcoin Wizard. Welcome to Bitcoin for Normies, where you can finally learn the truth about Bitcoin and snag the ultimate orange pill in 15 minutes, give or take. If you know somebody in your life who needs to get orange pilled in a short amount of time, well, this video is for them. A quick reminder, if you could hit the like button and leave a comment with what you want me to comment on next. I need your help with the algorithm so we can spread the orange gospel to the masses. So now I'm talking to the normies out there, okay? Clear your mind of every hot take that you've ever heard about Bitcoin on TikTok or CNBC. Bitcoin is not a lottery ticket, it is not a meme stock, and it is not a quick flip or a trade. Bitcoin is a brand new money system running in parallel to the dollar, the euro, the yen, and it plays by a different set of rules. 21 million coins forever, no central bank meetings, no surprise planning, and no bailouts. You need to think of Bitcoin as the measuring stick that you use to price everything else in your life. When the measuring stick that you measure those prices in stops shrinking, prices finally tell the truth. Over the next few slides, I'm going to be talking about how technology naturally makes everything cheaper, but fiat currency, the US dollar, is what is holding us back. That fiat currency hides deflation behind rising price tags, and that Bitcoin is the one place where you keep every bit of that efficiency gain to your productivity. By the end, you will know how to step off the hamster wheel of modern life and start living on a new standard of money that rewards your time and effort instead of stealing it. Buckle up, normie, the orange pill has just dissolved. All right, normies, eyes on the slide. This is my crackhead den house. This is where I live. Now we're going to talk about this home that I live in priced in US dollars and Bitcoin so you can understand the difference of inflation versus deflation. Back in the flip phone era, remember the flip phone era, guys? I had a BlackBerry Curve, so it didn't flip, but it had a tactile keyboard. That was incredible. They got to bring those back. Anyway, back in that era when Adam Livingston, the Bitcoin Wizard, was texting on his BlackBerry Curve, this house, the median home price was $173,000. But this same house was priced at a mind-melting 346,000 Bitcoin. So $173,000 or 346,000 Bitcoin in 2010. You got it? If that number makes your brain leak good, it means that you're finally noticing how small Bitcoin was when nobody cared about it. In 2015, we'll fast forward 5 years, the house crept up about $50,000 to $222,000 in fiat currency. Yet this number right here, the price in Bitcoin, went from $346,000 to $500. That's right, it went down 99%. Then we'll fast forward to pandemic time in 2020. The house in dollars moved up to $309,000. In Bitcoin, though, the price was just over 10 Bitcoin, from 500 to 10, from 346,000 Bitcoin to 500 Bitcoin to 10. I am illustrating the fact that when Bitcoin is your money, everything gets cheaper. But when the US dollar is your money, everything gets more expensive. Those are the two parallel operating monetary systems. Now today, that same house headlines $422,000 in fiat, which makes Zillow send you heart attack notifications. That's correct. In literally 15 years, the median US home went from $173,000 to $422,000. Everything gets cheaper when Bitcoin is your money, but you will always stay poor if your money is US dollars. You cannot outrun this inflationary monetary death spiral unless you have a scarce asset that is deflationary, like Bitcoin. And here's the thing, I never did anything to this house in 15 years. In fact, I just let it degrade. But the house went up in value only because the dollar, the value that it was denominated in, the value of the dollar declined, not because the value of the house went up. Priced in dollars, housing in America feels like climbing Mount Doom while wearing Crocs. But priced in Bitcoin, it looks like a clearance rack that nobody ever knows about. Stick around because the next slides show exactly why this keeps happening for every single asset and how you can swap out the rubber measuring tape, the US dollar, for a steel one, Bitcoin. I included these two graphs showing the median house price in US dollars versus Bitcoin Bitcoin, what do you notice? That houses get more expensive in dollars, but everything gets less expensive in Bitcoin. This is why Bitcoin needs to be your money. Let's talk about the magic trick that makes you feel richer on payday and poorer by dinner. We are going to talk about why fiat is a mirage. Here's the thing. Technology deflates prices. Tech is your best friend if the money that you use would let it be. Picture a 2002 big back TV, before flat screens, when they weighed 300 pounds. It weighed literally as much as your uncle's Harley Davidson and cost $1,500, and it could barely handle Madden 2001. Fast forward to today, an ultra-thin 4K screen costs $300, and you can literally binge watch cat videos in 8K if you wanted to. That price plunge is technology doing what it does best, making stuff better, faster, and cheaper. And then enter the currency clown car. Everything feels expensive because, surprise, even with gadgets on permanent discount, rent, steak, and college tuition, healthcare, they're all still sprinting ahead like they're racing Mario Kart's Rainbow Road. Now why? Because our glorious central bankers keep karate chopping the print button. When the US dollars inflate faster than your gadgets deflate, sticker prices rise in spite of all that technological progress. You have to think, if technology has gotten so much better over the last 50 years, humanity is so much more productive, why does everything get more expensive? Ponder that. The answer is because the money is broken. Your paycheck is literally playing tug of war with a money fire hose. Your wages will hike a little bit, but the CPI, or the real rate of inflation, M2 money supply debasement, that hikes quite a lot, and you celebrate a 3% raise while the grocery store is still taxing you via price tags. The Costco rotisserie chicken that you bragged about, give it another year, it'll cost one rotisserie plus a wing deposit. Now, Bitcoin cancels this entire fiat mirage illusion. Bitcoin walks straight into the rigged carnival and says, no, we're not playing this game, and shreds the supply side confetti. Remember those numbers when it came to houses? Those nosedived in BTC because deflation was allowed to hit the price instead of being muffled by money printing. So normies, the mirage that you call rising prices is just a funhouse mirror for the shrinking dollar. Grab a sip of water, kids, because next slide we're going to be pitting free market money against the captive one that's been pickpocketing you since birth. So normies, here's the deal. You can find out whether the paycheck that you get is living in a gated community or roaming free in the wild. Let's talk about captive market money. What I mean by this is your dollar in a hamster wheel. It is monopoly money, but not the fun board game kind. The Federal Reserve sets the rules, the supply, and even the interest rate on your student loans that you still haven't paid off. There is monopolistic control of this money system. There is mandatory participation. And if you disagree with me, try paying for your taxes in Pokemon cards and see how long that you stay out of federal housing. They have a perpetual 2% target inflation, which they're kind of already admitting that 3% is more realistic, and that's using CPI, which is a fake number anyway. But whatever. Translation for this 2% inflation target is essentially, we promise to melt at least 2 cents of every dollar in your pocket each year. But hey, trust us, trust the science, trust the process. And they have emergency levers galore in this captive market money system, the one of the US dollar. They can stimulate the economy by conjuring trillions at 3 a.m. on a Sunday. And then they wonder aloud why they can't afford red meat anymore. Remember those stimulus checks that you got during COVID when you got $600 and thought that was sweet, and then you noticed your grocery expense double over the next year? Yeah, it's because of them stimulating the economy. They're just pumping more money into the system, but the more that there is, the less scarce it is, therefore the value decreases. This is high school economics. We're going back. The Bitcoin wizards gotcha. Now contrasting the captive market money with the free market money, Bitcoin is the first free market ever accessible to everybody. Anyone with Wi-Fi can join, and you can opt into the open network. There's no K Street lobbying required. Your grandma in Iowa and a coder in Vietnam can have the exact same monetary policy. Zero surprise prizes. There's a hard cap supply. There's only 21 million coins carved in digital stone. The board meeting to change that policy of how many Bitcoin there is held never and located nowhere. Now, inside this parallel money system, there is a permissionless entry and a permissionless exit. What does that mean? If you want to send your value to Antarctica at 2 o'clock in the morning, go for it. No forms, no banker sipping macchiatos while verifying your documents. The market sets the price of Bitcoin, not the Fed's group chat. If the demand for Bitcoin drops, the price drops. If the demand explodes, the price moons. Nobody falsifies the signal by printing extra units of Bitcoin. Captive money is literally a hamster ball. It's round, it's familiar, and lined with wood chip inflation, but Bitcoin is a mountain trail. There's no guardrails to it, sure, but the view is spectacular, and nobody steals your trail mix on the way up. So normies, ask yourself, do you want your savings sentence reduced to time served in the free market wilderness, or are you happy spinning the fiat wheel while the zookeeper skims pellets? To be more clear, everything gets cheaper when Bitcoin is your money. You don't have the right to complain about inflation anymore. Every hammer and nail and roofing shingle that built your house gets cheaper to make, but only Bitcoin lets that discount from technology show up on the price tag. If your mortgage was denominated in Bitcoin, your principal would shrink faster than a New Year's diet plan. Imagine owing 4 Bitcoin and watching it melt to 1 over a single decade. So normies, that stomach knot that you feel right now, it's the realization that you've been pricing your dreams in a yardstick made of rubber. Now I'm going to talk about the usual objections. Yes, the one that your Uncle Larry says that it's too volatile. Your Uncle Larry's wrong. Sorry, you need to tell him to get off the drugs. I'm just going to torch every single Reddit tier objection before you can type it into the comment section. People say that Bitcoin is volatile, but really volatility is literally just optical. What I say to that is volatile compared to what? A dollar that loses 6% of value per year? The price chart, Bitcoin wiggling, that's just price discovery happening against a shrinking yardstick. Bitcoin's price in USD is only shaky because you're charting it in Jello. Some people say it's too expensive. I missed the boat. I can't buy Bitcoin. Wrong. You can buy Satoshis, which are the divisible units of Bitcoin. You can divide 1 Bitcoin into different units called Satoshi. There are 100 million Satoshis in 1 Bitcoin, so there's plenty for every normie who thinks AOL trial CDs are valuable. Unit bias is a marketing trick. Stop falling for it and grab some loose sats like it's loose change out of your couch cushions. People will say the government will ban it. Yeah, sure, they'll ban gravity next too. The biggest mining crackdown ever, which happened in China in 2021, well, the hash rate recovered in a matter of months. Bitcoin literally just shrugged that off. It moved to Texas and it kept on stacking blocks like Legos. Any country that bans Bitcoin is literally just handing the economic cheat code to its competitors. The politicians, they can try to be crafty, but they love tax revenue more than they love their control fantasies. There's also this argument that there's no intrinsic value, it's just code. No, that's totally wrong because there's no such thing as intrinsic value. Value is subjective. Bitcoin's intrinsic value is secured by energy, real electrons burned, irreversible math done, time-stamped forever. You trust your Wi-Fi on your airplane, you trust your GPS on your phone. Both of those are just computer code too, but the difference is that Bitcoin pays you for trusting it instead of charging a subscription fee like everything else in your life. So dear normies, if your last excuse is, my barber said it's a bubble, you need to save it for confession. All right, normies, enough charts. Now it's time to swap theory for action. We need to consider this your IKEA-style instruction manual for a life where prices actually go down instead of up. Set a weekly buy. Think of your Spotify subscription that siphons cash while you forget. $10, 50, whatever, just treat BTC as a savings account with muscles instead of letting your bank clip you for 0.03% high yield. Here's a quick pro tip for you. Aim for Stack Day Friday. It turns your payday into pay your future self day. The next step, you should probably just custody your Bitcoin yourself, get off the exchanges, grab a hardware wallet, write down your 24 magic words, do not screenshot them no matter what you do, and boom, no more scheduled maintenance. Locking your money when Elon tweets. Now, yes, Normie, it's very scary the first time, absolutely. So was driving without your mom in the passenger seat. Get it figured out. You're an adult. Now, after you've done this, you can then budget in sats, not dollars. Take one recurring expense. Think your daily coffee. Think your gym membership. Think your OnlyFans. Whatever fuels your soul, and log the cost in Bitcoin each month. Then you can watch the number shrink over time and you feel your inner Gollum whisper, precious deflation. When that hits, you'll never look at price tags the same way again, and you will understand that everything gets cheaper if Bitcoin is your money. That is the only way to escape inflation. And then I command you to orange pill your inner circle. Nothing cements conviction like teaching people. Send them that housing and Bitcoin chart that I just showed you. Send them this video so I can wake them up. Offer to help them set up their first hardware wallet. If they ghost you, congratulations. Fewer normies fighting for a limited number of sats. It only benefits you. So there you have it. Here's a few moves, no PhD required. Just follow them and you'll graduate from fiat hamster to Bitcoin mountain goat, hopping nimbly across the price cliffs that we just loved laughing at. Here's a fun little orange pill challenge for you, okay? Reprice one big expense in your life. Calculate your rent, car payments, or your tuition in Bitcoin and then compare that to a year ago. Then you can see the purchasing power difference. Number 2, you gotta hold for a full cycle. You gotta hold it for at least 4 years, okay? It's fun to observe the purchasing power changing firsthand, but it's really fun to do it over longer time horizons. Share this knowledge with a friend. Now, I want you to share this knowledge. You need to recruit a fellow hamster to take part in the gospel of orange. I want you to give this video to someone who still thinks that Bitcoin is just internet gold for nerds. If they scoff, just smile politely. Remember, the fewer converts there are means more sats per goat for the rest of us. Stop sprinting for higher wages in the fiat system. You think that next raise is going to get you anywhere? Wrong. You cannot outrun the monetary death spiral of inflation if you're in that fake fiat system. You can rotate off the fiat treadmill into the parallel monetary system. Don't you want to save your money where the prices fall? So thank you for taking the ultimate orange pill. Now that you understand that Bitcoin is literally how to get rich, leave the wheel, normies. There's a whole deflationary mountain to climb. I'll see you at the top. My name is Adam Livingston. I am the Bitcoin Wizard. If you like this content, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me spread the orange gospel to the masses. Have a terrific day, and remember, you normies, don't party too hard, okay? No drinking Everclear on the couch getting trashed watching Roseanne marathons. Class dismissed.